17 turnovers by the #1 seed in the second round. And it's just the 5th time that the 5th seed has knocked off the #1 seed in the postseason. Chris Miles here with former Hawks All-Star Smitty. Feeling good about your former team, huh, my friend?
Oh, man, no quit in Atlanta Hawks. Give Red Velvet a lot of credit. And if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, this is going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, Gallinari, he's the reason. You look at it, 17 points. Gallinari won this with a defensive play, a defensive possession down the end with the steal and the dunk. Never thought I'd have saw that.
Brendan Haywood also part of the team tonight. B. Wood. Trae Young didn't have his best shooting night, but he saved it for the fourth quarter.
He had timely shots, and that's what it's all about. Some guys we've seen, they'll have good first, second, and third quarters, but they won't be there in the fourth quarter. Trae Young did enough with his passing to keep his team in the game, along with some great play from Herter. And then in the fourth quarter, Trae was when he was 3 for 20. His confidence was never wavering. All of us, we got a chance to interview his dad earlier today, and we see where he gets the confidence from. And man, oh man, that was a special moment seeing Trae and Ray after the game as Trae Young is headed to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Brendan, you mentioned his dad, Ray Young, and what he said earlier, I remember you guys talking about this, was, hey, I want my son to get more credit for his passing. When his shooting was off, still hit his average in the postseason, 10 assists, Smitty, and some big dimes down the wire.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw him being able to make plays. They don't look at the stat sheets once you get to W, and this late in the postseason. I mean, those lobs, they're not easy plays in traffic, knowing to put it on time. I think also for me is, let's talk about Trae Young's defense. He's starting to develop this moxie, even at that size. You're not going to take advantage of me because of my size, and if I'm not shooting well, I still feel comfortable enough that I can win this game down the end.
Kevin Herter, Brendan, here's a guy that, 10 for 18 from the field, 27 points, and you saw it. I mean, the best defenders were on Trae Young. They were making sure they tried to limit other players. Bogdanovic with that knee injury clearly was not 100%, and they needed someone else to step up. Kevin Herter did that.
Kevin Herter definitely did that. I mean, I'm going to ask you, when you're a shooter, you see a couple of those go down, what is that confidence like when you just like, oh, my J is flowing? See, I was dunking, but you were shooting that thing, so I'm going to pass that thing to you right now.
You know, B. Wood, it starts to feel like you're shooting on a cruise and you shoot into the ocean. Everything is going to go in. And I think for Kevin Herter, Forkmon, he got his confidence in him. He couldn't guard him, and I think then Seth Curry was too little. He understands how to play basketball, B. Wood, knocking down some threes, but every time Seth got on him, he squared up, turned his back, and then got to the mid-range game and shot over him or got to the free throw line. I loved his floor game. I loved his basketball IQ. And you would think a young guy like that, B. Wood and Chris Miles, he would get rushed. They really needed him without DeAndre Hunter, without Cam Reddish, without Bogdanovic being 100%. And kudos to Bogdanovic. Did he play well? No, but he came out there, gave them some timely minutes, just enough for Herter and Trae Young to win this game.
And we have to talk about Nate McMillan, who had a huge, I guess, caveat to his career where, hey, he couldn't get out of the first round. I mean, this is a guy that's a good coach, but in Indiana, you're like, okay, you've lost in the first round 4 straight years. Now he's advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals and made some great decisions, Brendan. What did you notice about some of the adjustments that he made throughout the course of the game?
First of all, I would love to be Nate McMillan's agent this offseason. Nate, holla at me. I can get you whatever you need right now, because they're going to have to back up the Brinks truck. Whatever you ask for, Atlanta's going to have to give it to you. Nate McMillan right now, he's hotter than fish grease, okay? That's how hot he is as a coaching candidate. But in all seriousness, Nate McMillan has done a great job. And he's done an incredible job from the moment that he took over. This team played incredible basketball. I think that from a winning standpoint, I think them and Philadelphia were the 2 best teams since he took over at the beginning of May. Was it March or May? I think March. So at the end of the day, he has done an incredible job, and he had this team playing in a great fashion.
Evans in NBA history, now 6-9 in those Game 7s.
Let's get Kai Carlin.
Hey, Coach. How do you really kind of put this one into words? What do you think went wrong tonight?
Yeah, I don't know, Kai. I'm not going to sit here and, digest the game in front of everybody yet. I have to see it. Really disappointing. honestly. I think everybody's disappointed. Give the Hawks credit. Nate McMillan did a hell of a job. And they made, listen, this was a muddy, ugly game tonight, and it just seemed like they made the right plays. I just thought, we had 17 turnovers. If you want to circle one thing, the 17 turnovers, we shot, 75% from the free throw line. They just had too many extra shots at the end of the day, for us to win the game. But offensively is what, to me, let us down tonight. I thought our defense hung in there as long as it could. We couldn't make shots. I didn't think we trust passing tonight. I think it's a great lesson for us, but not the lesson we want to learn in the Game 7.
And speaking of the offense, Ben only took 4 shots, and he passed up a dunk late.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you have to talk to him about, or is that just nerves, or what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously he struggled from the free throw line, and that became a factor in this series. There's no doubt about that. I still believe in him, but we have work to do. We're going to have to get in the gym, put a lot of work in, and go forward.
Thanks, Coach.
Tom Moore.
Yeah, Doc, it seemed like in addition just to the turnovers, you had some in the backcourt. You gave them easy layups, and some of them were unforced.
Yeah.
They were really crushing.
Yeah, Tom, I thought what we had, I think we counted at halftime, we had 3 fast breaks where we threw the ball away and gave them, I think they got 6 points or 8 points out of it. Same thing in the second half. You just can't turn the ball over in a playoff game, especially in the Game 7. And, a lot of that to me came from just not trusting the simple pass, making the right plays. It's disappointing. We've done it all year. We've trusted all year. We've moved the ball all year. And we just didn't do it tonight. So, that was, if I had to say the most disappointing part of the game, it was that.
Thank you.
Marcus Hayes.
Hey, Doc, I think I heard when you sat down, you said with a measure of disgust, 5 for 23. Does that indicate how disappointed you are to lose despite holding Trae Young to 5 for 23? It seemed like you were pretty successful with that.
Yeah, and that's what Ben did. And so there was a positive to Ben, even though people were upset at him. But defensively, he did his job tonight. On Trae. Offensively, Marcus, we were just bad. We've been a good offensive team all year. Tonight we were not. We wasn't even an average offensive team tonight. Not only with just missing shots. I don't know how many point-blank misses we had at the rim, how many fast breaks that we blew in transition where we didn't get anything out of and they got something. But the last part of that, we just did not trust each other. We didn't trust the open guy tonight.
David
How much do you think that
Doc, do you think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
What do you, when you say get in the gym with him, what needs to be done? I mean, obviously, this is structure.
Yeah, I mean, that's between Ben and I.
Thank you.
Derek Bodner.
Hey Doc, was there anything you could have done to give to give Seth a little more help on Herter defensively there?
Yeah, we tried. I mean, we actually ran someone a couple of times. He was getting late clock shots a lot. Late in the clock, swinging it to him. Listen, Seth. Some of those shots Herter made were just really tough shots. He made a couple over Tobias. He made one over over George. So give him credit. The kid struggled in Game 6 and was phenomenal tonight. So made big shots. He was really like the deciding factor in this game, clearly.
Dave McMenamin.
Doc, when Joel is put in that position to be a playmaker so often, especially with what he was dealing with physically.
Yeah.
Do you think that led to the high turnover rate over the?
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of it clearly was a factor. But some of it was we didn't trust either. But listen, he carried the load all year. He had to carry it tonight. They were sending the kitchen sink at him. So it was a tough one.
Austin Krell.
Hey Doc, second year in a row where your teams have been in good spots in the second round and it's not going your way. Is there an element, of self-reflection that has to be done in that? And what are the lessons to be learned for you?
That we lost, and we want to win. If it was the same team, Austin, I would actually justify that question. But since it's two different teams, listen, this team last year got swept in the first round. We had a chance to go to the championship, to the Eastern Finals. I'm not going to make this into a negative year.
Last question, Chris Lamore.
Now, just from the Atlanta standpoint, I'm just wondering if you could sum up the job Trae Young did against you, and you kind of point to that as part of the reason.
Oh yeah, Trae was the major factor in this whole series. Joel was our guy, Trae was their guy. Trae, when you look at it, he shot 5 for 23, but the fact that we had to give him so much attention allowed other guys to get off. So he's definitely their guy. He's having a heck of a run right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Hawks 35-15 under head coach Nate McMillan this season.
Again, I'd like to start off first by giving thanks again to my God for this blessing. Just a wonderful opportunity to work with great men. Just thank you, God, for all that has been given to me this season. We can start with some questions.
All right. With that said, we'll begin with the first question coming from Sarah Smith from the AJs.
Hey Nate, just what are the emotions like in this moment? Does it hit you yet? Can you take it all in with the guys in that locker room as well?
I'm really happy for this group of guys and coaches because all that we've talked about, they have done. There's no quit in this team. They continue to work together. They continue to trust each other. They continue to believe. I can't believe how calm I was throughout this game. And I think it just came from the fact that I knew these guys were going to give me everything that they had. They did to finish a series again on the opponent's home court. It's just, it just shows the growth of this group of men.
What can you say about Kevin Huerter's performance tonight?
Well, we've been struggling. Our guys have been struggling, trying to get that ball, put the ball in the basket. And, we said that eventually it's got to open up for us. Those shots are going to start to fall. You keep shooting the ball. You keep being aggressive. Kevin came out tonight, was very aggressive. We pretty much just fed the hot hand. I thought our guards, I thought Trae and Lou, those guys did a good job of calling the game and keeping Kevin involved. And he did a great job of making plays for us tonight. We needed that. He came through. He's really struggled last game shooting the ball, but we believe in him. And we've said that. We believe in all of our shooters. And we wanted those guys to stay aggressive, no hesitation. And tonight, he came up big for us.
Hey, you're coaching a group that's 20, 21, 22 years old, and they just won 3 road games in Philadelphia. What can you say about the lack of fear that your group has?
I mean, I think it starts with our guard, our point guard. Trae plays that style of basketball. Even though he tonight the ball didn't fall for him, he continued to be aggressive, which put pressure on the defense to have to guard him. But then he also, fed the hot hand. He got the ball to Kevin and allowed Kevin to make plays, and some other guys. So they just continue to show growth. We talk about the things that we need to do. I felt like they were built for this moment tonight to win this game. They've shown this type of play really all season long for us. Finishing a game or finishing the fourth quarter. And I really felt confident that we were going to play a good game tonight and give ourselves a chance to win.
Hey, Coach, if I were to tell you before the game that Trae would be 5 of 23 from the floor, but you would win on the road, would you believe me, A? And how did you do it despite your star guard struggling?
Well, again, just trusting in other guys and trusting in our game plan. There were certain things that we wanted to do out on the floor, and it worked tonight. Trae, we wanted him to be aggressive. We always want him to be aggressive. His shot wasn't falling, but he got the ball to some other guys, and they were able to make some plays. I thought, Kevin, of course, led us tonight, but Gallo did a good job coming off the bench. John Collins continues to be consistent in his play. I thought Clint did an outstanding job of guarding Embiid. So it was really a team effort. One guy didn't shoot the ball well, but other guys we trusted the rest of the team, and they came through for us.
Go to Jeff Schultz.
Yeah, Nate, following a couple of your other comments, your team really wasn't offensively tonight, and even many times in the series where it has been during the season. And yet you guys, what can you say about how far you've come defensively, how far you've come in the toughness and the courage that you referenced earlier?
We came a long ways. At the beginning of the season, we were dropping close games. We were dropping a lot of games where we had the lead going into the second half or the fourth quarter. And they've learned how to win games. They're showing composure out there. Tonight, I think it's a tie ball game going into the fourth quarter. And, we've been in this situation many times. This year, I didn't see any panic in our guys. I thought we knew what we needed to do. It was clear what we needed to do. Defensively, get stops. Offensively, continue to execute on the offensive end of the floor. And they did that, So they've come a long ways. They've come a long ways because I think now I feel confident going down the stretch with this group because they trust in each other. They trust in the system that we're running, and they are doing a really good job of executing going down the stretch.
Steve Hummer.
Yeah, Nate, you mentioned a lot of things about Trae already, but I wondered, even on games when he doesn't shoot well, what else does he contribute to this team, just for attitude in a setting like this?
Well, it's again, he's fearless, so the opponents, they have to guard for that. He will take a shot if he is open, regardless of how many shots he has missed. So he really stretches the defense. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense. A lot of times they're trying to get two guys on the ball, which is freeing up the rest of the group. And he does a good job of getting the ball out of those double teams when they are committing to the ball. So just the fact of Trae being out on the floor, he's a threat. You have to defend that. You have to, get sometimes two guys on the ball, which a lot of times is freeing up other players on the team. And tonight, our guys were able to make plays.
Malika Andrews.
Nate, this is night that you guys are going to celebrate, but also this team hasn't been shy about your goals being bigger than the first round, bigger than getting out of the second round, and now the person that you're facing, one of them is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm wondering what your early impressions are of him, how much you've been watching that other series, and what was going on there as you prepare for what you're facing in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I have been watching the other series, and, really the focus has been on Philadelphia. Giannis is a great player. I mean, two-time MVP. We know what Milwaukee is all about. That's a really good team. But our focus has been on Philadelphia. And, right now we're going to go, enjoy this. And we'll start preparing for Milwaukee tomorrow.
Allison Mastrangelo.
Hey, Nate, I'm just curious, what was the environment like in the locker room after tonight's win? Can you give it a little description of what was the celebration like?
Excited, this is a big accomplishment for us, for this team, from where they started the season and to be going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and to beat two really good teams, to have to win a Game 7. We're very excited with what we have accomplished. We know there's still a lot of work to be done, so a lot of energy. But what this team has done this season, they haven't gotten too high when we've won games, and we haven't gotten too low when we've dropped games. And I think that showed in tonight's game. Coming out on the road and having to play a Game 7. In Philadelphia after dropping a game we could have clinched in our home building. These guys stayed with it. They came out and executed the game plan, played a solid 48 minutes, and won a Game 7, which is to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So just great work by this group tonight.
Andrew Lopez.
Hey, Dave. What do you think of the job that Onyeka did on Embiid, especially in that first half? It seems like he was able to give you guys a lot of good minutes there to kind of give Clint actually a little bit of rest.
He really did. He really did. My coaches, I thought those guys, and let me talk about my coaches, Chris Gent and Melvin Hunt, two outstanding coaches, and they've done a great job. And I want to kind of put a plug in with all these opportunities out here. I think some of these teams need to look at these guys. They told me that Big O was doing a good job on Embiid, and we wanted to leave him in to allow him to just continue to just make Embiid work. You're not going to stop him, but if you can make him work, that's about as good as you can get. Play position defense, and Big O did that. He did that for us tonight. We gave him a few extra minutes on Embiid and just did a real solid job. He's done a solid job really all series long with the minutes that he has gotten.
Brad Khalil.
Hey, Coach, what just kind of advantage, if you could talk about the advantage that you have two bigger guys like Herter and Gallinari playing kind of outside and off the ball, and the way they can move and kind of be two-way guys. Just could you talk about their contribution?
Well, I mean, Gallo has played some 3 in his career. He's played mostly 4 in the last few years of his career, but in this series, because they were so big, we played a bigger lineup. We had to go to a bigger lineup with Gallinari, John Collins, and Clint Capella out there at times, and we just had 2 guards. Both he and Kevin has come off the bench for us and really made our bench so much stronger this season. But they have had to step into that starting lineup at times and play for us and give us some minutes. Those 2 guys are big keys to our success this season. And, the combination of the 2 I really like, so we always try to match those guys, keep those 2 guys on the floor together.
Thank you.
Yes.
We've got time for just 2 more. They will go to McLean Baxley of the AJC and then Chris Kirschner.
Coach, the Hawks are now 5-2 on the road this playoffs. 3-1 in Philly. What were you able to do to kind of neutralize, very two hostile environments with a very young team and not let it run it all too much?
Again, we talk about our 3 C's, and that's really big, and it's for real. Being calm, being clear about what you need to do out there, and being connected on both ends of the floor. And normally we talk about that. Making sure that we do that in the fourth quarter, but it was necessary for 48 minutes tonight that we have that calmness about us. We couldn't allow them to get out, to have a big quarter in that first quarter and the third quarter. Those was 2 quarters we wanted to make sure that we didn't allow the crowd to get into the game. So we had to make sure that we was clear about what we needed to do and execute on both ends of the floor. And I thought our guys did that. That really the energy in the building, because we were doing a great job of executing, really didn't have an impact on us tonight. And they've been showing that type of composure really most of the season, and certainly in these first 2 rounds.
Nate, when you took over, this team was 14-20, 11th in the East, and now you're one of the 2 best teams now remaining in the Eastern Conference. Did you see the potential that this team could be in this position when you did take over?
I thought we had some talent, and we could be a good team. As far as predicting the future and all of that, I don't look at teams like that, because it's so tough to win in this league. What we tried to do was build a culture that would produce winning, and create a style that would give these guys an opportunity to win games, and that's respecting the game. You play the game with effort every single night. You play the game together, and you trust in each other. And those are the things that I was trying to build with this group. I felt like we had some talent, even though it was young talent. And if we could get that in our system and basically learn to execute and play to win, I felt we could win some games. And I always take one game at a time. I don't look in too far in the future. I really don't look not past the next game. So that's my approach. As far as taking over the team and thinking that they would be in this position, I think anything is possible if you play the game the right way. You bring the effort to the floor, and you play with that commitment, and you sacrifice as these guys have done.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.
Nate McMillan. As we told you, Ben Simmons did not take a fourth quarter shot in those last 4 games. Also didn't do so in game 2. 6 for 12 from the free throw line in that same time period. So just, what is that, Smitty? You said 12?
I think I might do my math, and that's one of those.
It's not that hard. It's 6 and then 6, yep, 12.
So you're saying none of those field goals was a 3, huh?
There's no way. There's no way. Shots fired by Smitty. Let's hear from Ben Simmons on his inability to shoot.
Hey, Ben. What went wrong for you guys tonight? What kind of played into you guys struggling there to close the game out?
I think that we slowed down the pace. We didn't move the ball enough, and we didn't get enough stops.
Thank you.
Chris Franklin.
Hey, Ben, toward the end of the game, there were a few chants that were going out there asking Trae, Ben Simmons, stuff like that. Do you feel like you played your last few minutes here in Philadelphia?
I feel like we just lost game 7. That's about it.
Right. Would you like to remain in Philadelphia?
Pardon?
Would you like to remain in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, I love being in Philly. I love this organization. The fans are great people. I mean, I had a bad series. I expect that. It's Philly.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Marcus Hayes.
Ben, Doc said that there's work to do, and he and you need to get into the gym. What do you think the work is that needs to be done, and I guess prioritized? Is it free throw shooting? Is it being more aggressive? Is it perimeter shooting? What is it in your game that you think you need to improve first?
I think all of it. You hit on all of it. I ain't shoot well from the line this series. Offensively, I wasn't there. I ain't doing enough for my teammates. But there's a lot. There's a lot of things I need to work on.
You gave up a dunk opportunity, and I don't know if you answered this earlier, but you gave up a dunk opportunity right there. And I know you're a pass-first guy, but you're also 6'10" and 240. Is there something going on in your head where you just feel like you can't shoot at sometimes?
Nah, I just assumed Gallo was coming over my back, and then Collins moved out, and so I thought we just had a wide open dunk.
Thank you.
Dave McMenamin.
Ben, as a team, you guys have been hovering around contender status for several years now. The way the playoffs broke with some of the other favorites already being eliminated leading up to tonight, is there any sense of, man, we might have blown an opportunity to do something pretty big here?
I mean, yeah, definitely. It's game 7. We didn't get past this round, so obviously, it hurts.
Next, we'll go to D. Lynham.
Ben, I'm just curious because obviously we can look at who you are in a regular season and see, what gets you all-star and defensive player of the year, but postseason numbers look different. So what happens in the postseason that does not allow you to be the same player that helps you get your team to earning a top seed in the Eastern Conference?
I mean, I feel like I found my guys tonight, which I do in the regular season regardless. What did Trae shoot? I think
he was terrible, 5 for 23.
Yeah, he had a tough night. Offensively, I probably didn't do enough. There's a lot of things. You got to go back and watch the game, but there's a lot of things that I didn't do well this series.
But do you feel like there's something that is different in the postseason with what makes you perceived to be the player that you are different than in the regular season?
No, I'm not gonna let you say that. We lost. It sucks. I am who I am. It is what it is. It's not easy to win, and it shows. Nets got finished by Buck. It's not easy to win. And I worked, so I think the first thing I'm gonna do is clear my mind and get my mental right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we have time for 2 more. We'll start with Crystal Soltas.
Hey, Ben, what was the biggest lesson for you, not only about Game 7, but the whole series against the Hawks? And what would you like to change if you have a chance to get back in that series?
You got to be mentally tough. You can't take games for granted, especially, in the playoffs. Every game matters. Every possession matters.
All right, Ben, we have one more for you. I'll go back to Marcus Hayes.
Ben, Doc was asked, do you think Ben Simmons will be a point guard here next year? He said, I don't know the answer to that. Would you be willing to consider a position change to, be a forward if you stay in Philadelphia, or even if you went somewhere else?
I'm going to do what I got to do and work on my game to get better. That's not my focus right now. We lost Game 7. So never let the highs get to high and the lows get to low. So for me, it's more work. You get my mind right and my body right for next season. Do what I can control.
Thank you.
All right, Ben. Thank you, man.
Well, that was intense. More on that a little bit later. Trae Young, the 4th worst field goal percentage in a Game 7, but he was 3 for 7 from the field in the 4th quarter. Also had 10 assists, and his team's advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, he was big tonight. Big, very big for us. And with guys out, Dre being out, Cam, Bogey being, kind of on one leg. He did a great job coming in and being aggressive, and it was great to see, and we needed all of it tonight.
What are the emotions like right now for this team? Starting out the season 14-20 to now making it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's high. I mean, guys, the confidence is still there. The confidence is going to remain the same. But we're happy we made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but we're not satisfied. So it's great that we're here, but we still got some games to win.
Chris Kirschner.
Trae, what do you feel like this team proved after this series, especially after winning 3 games on the road in one of the toughest places to play in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, we went to two of the toughest places. It's 11-11, Make-A-Wish, y'all. Yeah, hold on, what was I saying? Oh, no, yeah, we went to 2 tough places and played. And, I mean, it was a great environment, loved it. Loved the shit talking, loved everything about it. It's been great. We got 2 victories, so I'm happy about that. So it's been fun.
Well, I have to ask you, what's your 11-11 wish now that you mentioned it?
If I tell you, it won't come true, bro.
I also want to ask you, I know you're really close with your father, and I saw after the game you gave him your jersey. What's that moment like for you, just looking back on your journey in basketball?
Yeah, I mean, me and him we've been at it since the beginning, and he's literally been traveling and coming to all my games and just being there to support me since the beginning. I remember going and taking those 2-hour drives from Norman, Oklahoma to Dallas just to play on my AAU team, and flights to go to Kansas City to play with my AAU team. He was there from all those days till now, and so we were going to playoff games as a kid and watching them, and for us to have a playoff game on Father's Day, I wanted to make it a mission to come out and win and give him my jersey. So.
Jeff Schultz.
Hey Trae, Chris took one of my questions, but I wanted to ask you also, just what's it like for you in the mindset of a player when your shot's not falling, but you know you have to do something and you want to do something to help your team?
Yes.
Kind of take us through that.
Yeah, man. I know I just had to find a way. My shot was, I mean, off tonight, and my right hand and my shoulder was giving out, and I was just still trying to fight through and push through it. And I mean, shots just weren't going tonight. But my teammates showed up and made plays, and so for me, I just try to find them. I try to find Clint, find JC, Kev. I mean, and then when it was the fourth quarter, trying to lock in and make some plays for my team down the stretch because they were making plays for me throughout the whole game. So I just wanted to come through in the end and help them out a little bit. I know I didn't shoot the ball great today, but they definitely made plays, and it was a total team effort tonight.
Michael Cunningham.
Trae, you've been with Kevin from the beginning. I think we've all seen him have, potential to be a very good player in this league. It seems like the last 2-3 months has really elevated his game. And what have you seen in the difference for him in this game?
Yeah, I mean, he's just being more aggressive. I think with guys going out, we're definitely telling them we need him to be more aggressive, score the ball a little bit more, and just play free. Relax, have fun, score when you got it, and make the right play. And he's been doing that, and he did it tonight, and it was good.
As he been playing more aggressive, have you seen a different attitude from him at all? Like, talking warming, what's he been like?
Nah, it's the same person. Kev's level-headed. He makes plays, and he ain't changed at all. He just go out there and does what he needs to do.
Malika Andrews.
Trae, Nate McMillan said there's a balance, right, between celebrating tonight and preparing for a tough Milwaukee team tomorrow. How do you approach that? When does the switch flip for you?
For me, probably in the morning. Obviously, want to celebrate with my teammates and just be able to sit back and really reflect on this series. But understand in the morning we got to go right back at it and get prepared for this next challenge. So they're a good team.
Steve Hummer.
I know I'm sure you're not pleased with how you shot, but how important is it to you to know that you can have a bad shooting night and this team can still win a 4th game like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's a great feeling. I mean, I always want to make plays for my teammates, but, I mean, it's the nature of the game. Some nights it's not going to be your night, and you're going to need some people to help you. And tonight it was great to have Kev do what he did, Clint rebounding, playing defense, and guys really stepped up, and it was good.
Just a few more. We will go to Terrell Thomas.
Trae, it's been obvious from the beginning that Tony's mission has been to bring an NBA championship to Atlanta. Speaking with you a few years back in Salt Lake City when you were beginning your journey as an Atlanta Hawk, you made it clear that was your mission as well. Now your team is 4 wins away from the NBA Finals, although, as you mentioned, very quick turnaround, a tough Milwaukee's team. But can you talk to me about the journey and how it's been just to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough journey. I mean, took a lot of losses to get here. And for us, I think the guys who have been here since the rebuild, this feeling is a lot better than what it's been. And we know it's our first year in the playoffs together, and it's only the beginning too. So that's the best part about this whole thing, is that this is just the beginning.
Thank you.
We'll try to get 3 more in. First from Christos.
Hey, Trae, congratulations about the win. How's your mindset about the games against the Bucks? You're 4 wins away from the NBA Finals. How do you approach that series in the Bucks?
You got to approach it the same way you approach every other series. Just, I mean, take it one game at a time. Understand the details that we're going to need to have going into the game, and be focused and locked in, because they're a good team and they're a hungry team. So we got to come in there with that same mindset and be ready to play.
2 more. We'll go back to Chris Kirshner.
Hey, what can you say about the toughness that Nate has instilled in his team? You guys have Bogey on one leg, no Trae, no Cam. You didn't shoot well, but you guys still ended up winning.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows the belief we all have in each other and the fight we want to give for each other. It just shows how close this group is. I mean, when you have guys out there fighting for each other and not wanting to sit out and take this game off because you feel like you're going to leave your teammate, your brother behind, it just shows how close we are. And I hope people really understand and see how close this team is when we play. Because we're a close team, and I'm happy the way guys fought through injuries and guys are still fighting through injuries just to play. And because this is our first time, we're enjoying it and we want to win. And I love this attitude that Nate and everybody's really been having.
Final question to McLean Baxley of the AJC.
After Game 6, you said Game 7s are fun. You are looking forward to it and just continue to play basketball. What was the environment like out there at night? We heard on TV, the fans are saying your name, not the nice light, I guess, but just winning 3 games there in Philly and winning on the road this playoffs. And what's that been?
Yeah, I mean, people said this was 2 of the toughest places to play in the whole league, and I mean, you saw fans are still being immature and throwing bottles on the floor at the end of the game, and I mean, it's sad, but I mean, these first 2 series have been fun battles, and fans have been involved, and maybe a little bit too much, but I mean, it's what it's supposed to be like at the end of the day. Fans are supposed to be interactive, and fans are supposed to chant and cheer for their team. But I mean, I feel like sometimes they take it too far, especially in these first 2 places. I mean, I'm sure I've never heard Milwaukee doing stuff like that. So, I mean, I know they're going to be cheering for their fans and things like that. So, their team, I mean. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun battle.
Thank you, Trae.
Got you.
Joel Embiid averaged 35 points per game in this series at home. He had 31-11, but with 8 turnovers in Game 7.
Real fresh tonight. I know that season's over and everything, but can you just kind of
talk to me about what went wrong tonight, the turnovers and everything else.
Well, first of all, gotta give Atlanta a lot of credit for what they did, and obviously they beat us, so gotta give them a lot of credit, but it sucks, to come up short once again. There's a lot of stuff that happened. You just felt like this was gonna be our year, but whether it's COVID and injuries and stuff, it just sucks. But if there's one thing I want to say, I gave everything I had. It's not easy, especially when you always get something always happens at the wrong time. I was ready. This whole playoffs to just come in and just dominate and do what I had to do, and obviously, the meniscus happened. It sucks. There's a lot to regret, and I guess since this is my last press conference, there's a lot of stuff that went wrong. Whether it's they can find me all they want. Whether it's the officiating, tonight you got guys fouling, putting their hands up, me going for a duck, they don't call anything. It's just the last 3 games, it's been the same way, over and over. And then I get fined last game for having my arms out while I'm getting pushed in the freaking back, and I get fined just because I guess I don't know why. So there's a lot of stuff that went wrong. As a team, we still had to be better. We still had a good chance to win. We just made a lot of mistakes, and But like I said, I gave everything I had.
And then, how is the knee feeling like right now? I know you played with it all playoffs.
Man, it's a torn meniscus. It is what it is. Man, I guess there's a good and bad. The loss. Now I can take care of my body. That's something that I thought hard about, playing on it, but ultimately I decided to do it. But it was my choice, and I gotta live with the results. But at the end of the day, when it comes to my future, I'll be fine.
Thanks, Joe.
Joel, do you want to see this same group back here next year? And what do you think you guys need to be able to take the next step that you've been kind of waiting on for 2 years?
Carl, I like you, but that's a tricky question. I don't think this is the time, to be talking about, those type of stuff. We had a great group, great guys, on and off the court. I love all of them, and I still believe that, if I was 100%, then, if we were just, as a team, we were all together. Still believe that we had a shot at winning it all. Obviously, a lot of things, didn't go well, but like I said, me personally, with the circumstances, I did what I could, and I gave everything I had.
Thank you, Joe.
Dave McMenamin.
Hey, Joel, what was the moment for you personally tonight where your belief in what you had in terms of this being the Sixers' year turned to the recognition that it just wasn't going to happen?
Man, I'll be honest. I thought the turning point was, when we, I don't know how to say it, but I thought the turning point was just, we had an open shot, and we made one free throw, and we missed the other, and then they came down and scored, and we didn't get a good possession on the other end, and Trae came back and he made a three, and then from there, down 4, and then he's on me, I turn the ball over, and try to, make something happen from the perimeter, but I thought that was a turning point.
Christoph Santos.
Joel, what was the biggest lesson for you on Game 7, especially the whole series against the Hawks, about the future?
Man, just gotta be better. I gotta, personally I felt like I took a huge step this year, and there's so much more I can do, and I can be so much better, whether it's my body. I felt like this year was that was the biggest year of my career. Just taking care of my body, and talking with my nutritionist. She told me that it would take a while to see the results, and even playing injured, in the postseason I kind of started seeing the results. Even though I was hurt and I was in pain, my body still felt somewhat okay. So just gotta, me personally, I just gotta keep doing that. And basketball-wise, there's so much more I can do. I've progressed a lot this year, and next year I'm gonna be even better.
Marcus Hayes.
Hey Joel, it's Father's Day. This is your first Father's Day. I know it's not the perfect Father's Day, but do you think you did Arthur proud today?
Obviously the win would have been nice. I've said that in the past. I wanted to see is that win, championships, and be the best player in the league, whether it's individual awards like Defensive Player of the Year or MVPs. I wanted to see him at my best, and like I said, with the circumstances, I think I made him proud. Just like in the future, when we talk about all of this, I just want to show him the toughness that it takes to be able to compete at this level. Not everybody can be perfect. I make a lot of mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes, but whatever I can control, I felt like I just made him proud. Obviously the win would have been better, but I care a lot about basketball, but then again, I'm, family first. I care about, my partner, Annie, and, my son, Arthur, and my family, obviously. So that's what comes first in my life. But, just with the circumstances, I did what I could.
Thank you.
Vincent Goodwill.
Joel, you guys as a team have suffered some pretty tough playoff losses, this year and the last 2 years. What is your optimism level at this point? Are you as optimistic as you were 2 or 3 years ago, or do these things take its toll on you mentally?
It does. It sucks. Especially, this year. I wouldn't say it was the best team that I've had since I've been here. That team 2 years ago had a lot of potential too, especially losing on a buzzer beater to the champs that year. But man, I'm a winner. I want to win. I do everything it takes to win. So, losing obviously is going to take a toll on me, and he does, and he's doing it. But it's also on me. I gotta be better. I gotta take another step when it comes to taking care of my body and my game as a whole, because I still feel like I have a lot of untapped potential that people haven't really seen. A lot of people get mad when I play away from the basket, but in today's NBA, you got to be able to do everything on the basketball court, especially if you're the best player on the team, and a lot of people look up to you when it comes to creating your own offense. So I got to be able to do everything, and I still feel like I have another part of my potential when it comes to whether it's ball handling and playing up the dribble and all that stuff, and I'm gonna be me. Like I said, a lot of people complain if I don't spend freaking my time on the court the whole game on the block, but that's not the way basketball is played. There's a spacing aspect that comes with it. And the way I see myself, I've always seen myself as a complete basketball player, so I'm going to take that next step and come back even better as a complete basketball player and just do what I do. I love playing on the block, I love playing like a guard. I want to do both, and I'm going to do both.
Thank you, Joel.
Oh, it's perfect time for Brendan. Look, we're getting petty. They say now this is a story all about how the process got flipped, turned upside down. That's from the Atlanta Hawks. And then, Brendan, I know you remember this because, here it is. Oh, yeah. That's the moment on his shirt. John Collins reminding everybody he had 14 and 16 in his Game 7 closeout, but trolling with the facial on Embiid.
Finals now.
Everybody's fired up. We've been working all year for this moment, to be in moments like this, Game 7. I feel like we all had each other's back, and as I said before, we couldn't want anything else any more than we did tonight, and we pulled through for a victory.
How impressed were you with Kevin, and how key was he to getting this win?
Yeah, we call him Kayvon in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? K with an apostrophe V-O-N, Kayvon. Yeah, that's it. But anyway, he was great tonight. Amazing. We can't ask for much more from Kev. We always are behind him when he's playing like that. We love to see it.
I'll have to talk to him about his nickname. Thanks, John.
He knows about it. He knows about it.
Chris Kirshner.
Is it bright in the room, John?
No, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, I don't know if you feel me. Oh, yeah, no. You see the shade? You see the shirt, too?
I see it.
Oh, yeah. It's not dark, though. I got a lot lighter.
I did want to ask you about Kevin. So, 3 seasons ago, I remember that first game in New York, and a lot of people thought, he would probably have to get rep the reasons why you won a Game 7. What have you seen with Kevin in terms of his growth over these past couple of years?
Firstly, it's that confidence that he's playing with now. I feel like we've all seen the skill set that he possesses and how he plays the game, mentally, cerebrally. But it's really all about confidence for Kev, and I've really seen that grow over the past couple of years, as well as his defensive intensity and just his ability to defend. I feel like he's taking that challenge personally, and we all, definitely appreciate when Kevin's locked in on both ends. He can do stuff like that, like he did tonight.
Michael Cunningham.
Hey, John, you said that you love to see when Kevin plays like that. What is it about him that makes it so fun to see him play like that?
Man, he plays the right way. He has fun, and he stays in his game. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the best part about Kevin is, he gets to his spots. He knows where his spots are, and I feel like he's just confident once he gets there, which, as I said before, just helps him with his game tremendously because we all know what he can do with the basketball.
What's he think of his nickname?
He likes it. He definitely didn't, push it away or be like, nah, don't. He embraces it. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to the boy Kayvon again.
Let's go to Brandon Harper.
What's going on, fellas? Congrats on the win and the advancement to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is for both of you. Let's talk about Coach McMillan. He finishes 5th in the Coach of the Year voting. No disrespect to any other coaches in the league, but everything that he's had to endure, taking up this team in the middle of the season from where you all were into where you all are now, and you're 4 games away from, getting to the NBA Finals. Just talk about, what he's meant, what his voice has meant to you all, what his impact has meant, with everything that you all have had to go through this season.
From day one, the day that he took the job, we just felt that it was, he really tried to put a really different vibe at that locker. Every game, really clear about what we need to do. Just his message, his speech before every game is really, we can feel that it's really getting into us. Every shoot around, every practice, I feel like we really know what each other's role. We really know how to be successful. Everybody in the team now know how to help this team at being successful, and he has a huge part in that.
Kevin Herter, one of 5 Hawks players in double figures, led them in scoring with 27, 10 for 18 from the field.
3 seasons later, here you are in Game 7, and you're one of the main reasons why this team's in the Eastern Conference. Can you just, in the Eastern Conference Finals, can you put into perspective just the amount of growth you've showed over these past couple of years?
Yeah, it's been a long couple of years. I know this is only my 3rd year, but it's been a long 2 years. Being at the bottom of the East and using those 2 years, and all you hear the whole time is development and guys getting better and playing all our young guys and preparing for the future and all that. And this year, trying to flip a switch, our whole mindset changed, and bringing in new guys, and the development process, I guess, was over. And just kind of the culmination up to this point, just the 3 years of guys just working, guys still believing what we're trying to build here in Atlanta, and what we're going to continue to try to keep building. It's been a great 3 years, but hopefully the ride is just starting.
Sarah Spencer.
To take it down to a micro scale a little bit, what was working for you really well tonight? I know Nate mentioned that even though shots weren't falling for Trae, sometimes they have to put 2 guys on him, and it kind of opens things up for other guys. Just what kind of opened things up for you tonight?
Just trying to get to that mid-range. I think from watching film and from learning from stuff this whole year, it's my better games have been games where I got my mid-range game going and was aggressive, trying to get to that 15 feet, the 10-foot mark, and especially with a smaller defender guarding me tonight, and just trying to get to my spots and elevate and make shots. And we have guys banged up. Obviously, I think every team's banged up, so it's not an excuse. But I came to this game knowing I had to be aggressive, and luckily your first 4 shots go down, you get that rhythm going for the rest of the game.
Jeff Schultz.
Kevin, you saw what Trae was going through, you saw what Bogey was going through. I'm just wondering, at what point in this game did you start to realize that a lot of the offense might have to come from you?
Kind of in that first half, to be honest. Well, I don't know. I think we were up 2 at the half, and like you said, Trae just wasn't making shots he usually was, and for us to be up 2 with guys, probably not having the games they wanted up to that point. Gallo kind of came to me at halftime and just keep shooting, and he's like, you got to stay aggressive. We need you to stay aggressive, and same thing. I just try to go on in the second half, and Trae continued to look for me. He's getting doubled all series, and like I said, I got to the ball, and I was just trying to get to that mid range and get to my spots.
And then the other thing is that there obviously was some, at least externally, some questions about you guys coming in the playoffs just because you were so young and you're not been in the playoffs before. I'm just wondering, and you smile about that now, but I'm just wondering, was there a point at which you guys really thought, hey, we can go deep in this thing?
Probably, I don't think there was one moment. I think when we've had our whole team all year, we think we're pretty good, and it feels like we haven't had our whole team all year. We still don't have our whole team, but when we got D Hunt back, when we went into that New York series, we knew we were good, and we had a full team, and we had a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things, and we're a pretty complete team, and we have everybody. And again, we're right back banged up, but we've had guys filling in all year. We won on that 8 or 9 game winning streak, and we had a lot of different guys stepping up. And so there's just a belief. You can't explain it. Could be a little bit of naive, a little guys being young, not knowing any better, not knowing what the NBA game is like, and coming into the playoffs. I said it after last game, it's house money. Nobody expects much from us. We're going out there confident every game and trying to do what we can.
Michael Cunningham.
Hey, Kevin, after the game, it looked like the Embiid said something to you that made you kind of chuckle. Can you share what he said to you?
I think my career high my rookie year was in this building, and I hit a late three in that, and then John hit a fadeaway, and he just kind of looked at me. He goes, "You always play well in this building," and so I was laughing at that. It's my original career high was here, now my playoff career high is here, so that was just kind of it.
When you said you came into this game knowing you had.
Okay, so we've heard from a lot of the players today and the coaches, and here's the thing: there seems to be a theme surrounding Ben Simmons. Brendan, free throw line in 70 attempts in the postseason. It's the worst in NBA history with that many attempts. 0 fourth-quarter field goal attempts in the last 4 games as they were eliminated. When Doc Rivers was asked, can he see Ben Simmons being the point guard of a championship team, said, I don't know about that at this point. And you heard Joel Embiid in his presser say the turning point was when we had an open shot and we made 1 free throw, referring to that play with Ben Simmons. So when you hear that, Brendan, it's a lot of smoke around that fire right now, Ben Simmons.
I mean, when I hear that, it lets me know that everybody in the Philly organization understands that they have a Ben Simmons problem right now. And that's his confidence at the free throw line, his inability to shoot the ball, and his lack of confidence of shooting the ball anywhere on the court in the fourth quarter. Ben Simmons is owed 4 years, $145 million roughly. If you have a player making that level of money and he can't shoot the ball for you, he can't give you anything offensive in a playoff game in any fourth quarters, you have a problem, because it tells me that your team is not structured in the right manner. So what has to happen is either Ben has to have some real conversations with himself, maybe even see a sports psychiatrist and understand why these moments are giving him such problems, or Philly's going to have to look to make a move, because you can't win a championship if your second best player has these type of holes in his game.
Smitty, what'd you make of how Ben Simmons responded to the questions? Because they weren't holding punches back as far as the way that they were asking why he made the decisions he made, and that's the play.
You got to dunk that, fam. You got to dunk that.
Yes, he does, B. Wood. I mean, you got to go up and you got to get fouled. And
he said he thought he hurt someone behind him.
He said he thought Gallinari's behind him. I mean, obviously he's a pass-first type of player, but you got to go be aggressive, get fouled, go up there and miss or make free throws. But if you're getting in foul trouble, you putting fouls, that gets us in a bonus quicker. Also, to be this type of guy, one of these guys we're looking at a next level player, possibly an all-star and above, you got to be able to be effective some kind of way in the fourth quarter on the offensive end. I mean, sometimes some guys can't shoot the basketball, but Thibault still shoots it. He's not a great shooter, but he's getting better and better. His confidence is there. He drives it. He gets layups. I mean, Rondo back when the Boston Celtics, before he was a guy that couldn't shoot, they went under, but he would take shots. You got to keep him honest, and he's going to drive and get layups. I think for Ben Simmons, he's going to have to find a way. I think also he's going to have to post up more. I mean, there's a lot of times they're playing much smaller guys on him. He has to take advantage of that. It's going to be a long, good summer for him, because if he puts in the work, you will see the results. Just like Luke Dort over in OKC, he's able to knock down some jump shots because he's put in some work.
Brendan, are you surprised that it's the head coach we're hearing from and the star of the team that also said that today after they're eliminated?
I'm not surprised, because this is a big game, and this is one of their best players didn't play well. He didn't play well all series long, and there's some holes in Ben's game. So I'm not surprised that Doc was kind of trying to deflect for Ben. He said, hey, he didn't know. Joel seemed like he kind of called Ben out. I mean, I can't speak for Joel Embiid, but that's just what I'm guessing from the comment, that he kind of called Ben out. And if you're Joel Embiid, you understand your championship window is now, and if the guy that's supposed to be your running mate can't do anything offensively for you in the fourth quarters, it's going to be very tough. I love Seth Curry, and Seth Curry stepped up huge, and he almost covered up for what Ben Simmons wasn't able to do in the fourth quarter. But man, oh man, if we're talking about winning playoff games and the guy that you're paying $37 million per year isn't showing up and Seth Curry has to carry all his water, what are we really doing here in Philly? And I think that's where we're at. I think Doc is trying to be fair, but he's trying to cover for Ben to a certain degree. And I think Joel Embiid's probably tired of trying to carry Ben.
Well, let's take a look at the Philadelphia 76ers situation as they head into the offseason as far as free agents are concerned because, well, like you already said, Brendan, Ben Simmons is under contract. So it's just Danny Green, Dwight Howard, and Mike Scott.
No, he's more than under contract. Did you hear the numbers that B. Wood said? He said 4 years.
4 years, 145.
Yeah. He's under a lot of contracts. I mean, I think for the Philadelphia 76ers, it's tough because they made the coaching move. They made some changes, some guys brought in. I thought Dwight Howard, I thought Seth Curry, they made a huge impact. But I think unfortunately for them, if Joel Embiid was healthy, totally healthy, I think they still could have won this series with Ben Simmons not producing. But then down the stretch, each round you get more and more. You start to look at the playoff games as tighten up, possessions tighten up. He was becoming more and more of a liability for them, and that was hard because now you can't play him. They're going to hack a Ben. He's not taking shots. I mean, three total shots in the fourth quarter in 7-game series, not in one game, in an entire series. That's just not going to get it done.
And you're making 145.
Trust the process.
If you're making north of $30 million and offensively you're nowhere to be found, what are we really doing? Like, that is where the problem is right now. Like, if you're Elton Brand, you're on the phone trying to figure out, is there a taker for Ben Simmons right now? The only thing, maybe OKC would say, we'll give you Kemba Walker for Ben, but outside of that, where does he go? Because his value has really sunk right now, and Smitty will tell you the worst time to trade somebody is when their value is at an all-time low because you're going to get pennies on the dollar.
Well, trust the process started when they couldn't get out of the second round and they traded Drew Holiday to New Orleans. Drew Holiday has made it to the conference finals before the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a thing that has now happened. Well, happy Hawks because they